Hmm. Meaning a carrot. Do you know the story about the carrot? The history? A little bit? Anyway, this used to be like a white um, color, and apparently the Dutch changed its color to orange. Mm, that's pretty cool. There's more on it. Um, Something to do with how they changed the color. Anyway, now we have orange carrots. Now, mm, I want to talk about religions while I'm eating my carrot. Appropriate. Okay, got a Bible, and parts of it are written way back, um, probably 1400 BC. Some of it around Moses' time. Now, there's theories saying um, that the Bible could have been written by Adam, and there's Toldos, yeah, like signatures in different, and it could have been passed on. In the scriptures, it seems like a signature pattern going through Genesis, and it could have been passed on these manuscripts to Moses, or he could have been made familiar with them. But either way, Moses wrote. We know from the New Testament, the apostles write, and Jesus even says, "If you don't believe Moses, you won't believe me." So clearly, Jesus affirmed Moses was the writer of the first five books: okay, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, Deuteronomy. So, so he writes it, puts it all together. We have these like 1400 BC. Now it could have been older. It could be right from man. Now that goes against all theories on man is dumb. Well, not if the Bible's true. If the Bible's true, then Adam would have been super genius level. He would have been smarter than Einstein squared. Little joke there. Anyway, so he would have been smart as smart. Okay, put all the Mensa clever ones, especially the ones that don't believe in God, put them to shame. Okay, smartest woman in the world at the moment, what? Well, the highest IQ is about 225 or something. Well, yeah, well, she's nothing compared to Adam. Eat that. Okay. Anyway, with all their smartness, Adam and all that. Anyway, they're all there. We've got genius humans. Made genius from the start. Incredible mental faculty in their minds happening. And as we've gone down, mutations and lack of DNA splits and then breeding, loss of information. We've got all the various races in the earth. We did get to a flood area, and then they all broke off, and then they all spread out. So we get back down to about 7, and then the DNA spreads out from there. We have all these races come from there. That's neat. But hey, we're not super genius like that anymore. We're not living like to 900 and over 900 years old. And that could be environmental factors. There could be lots of issues there. And a lot of scientists have basically been testing what would happen if you put some organisms under that sort of possible pre-flood sort of environment. What happens with them? Like snake venom, it changes. Bacteria alters, and there's all these interesting effects. So you think, wow, pre-flood conditions, bacteria could have been a good thing back then. Wow, who knows? Anyway, super genius man, and now I've got all the way down to the lowest dumbest, like Richard Dawkins type individuals today. You think, oh, that's a bit rough, isn't it? Well, anyone who denies God exists and teaches other people that, and he doesn't know God. He's never had an encounter with him, so he's in the dark. Okay, but he's going around promoting, saying God's a delusion, and this, writing books. For me, the guy is an asshole. Okay, yeah, I'm steamed about it. I'm angry. Why? Because he's dooming people to eternal torment. He's dooming people to hell. He's stopping people not only in this life from having a relationship with God and knowing the truth. He's like, for me, I categorize that type of character, because I know God's real. The damage he's doing is like Hitler. It's the same as like Hitler. It's like genocide of millions of people can be destroyed by his lying and the stuff he's doing. The damage he's doing to people's lives is enormous. You know? Now, if you categorically knew God was real as well, you'd be going, wow, this guy is worse than evil. You know? So what do we do for him? What do we do? Well, Bob says, we pray for our enemies. You think, I really don't want to. But anyway, you pray for your enemies. So I'm going to pray for you right now. Richard Dawkins. I pray that God gives you an inescapable proof that alters your life and shakes your very foundation. Okay, here you go. Pray for your enemies. Now, the thing is, I'm not happy with you at all, dude. I know God's real. You're a naturalist. You don't know He's real. So you're actually you're not in the know. And you're trying to argue against something you don't know. Now you're going to try and, well, how do you know? I don't give a rat's monkey's uncle that you don't know what I don't know. And that you try and prove that I don't know what I know. Good luck. Okay, you can't. Experience triumphs or trumps arguments any day of the week. My experience will trump any argument you can raise against it, because I know that I know that I know. Experience is far more powerful than any argument. Okay, so try, for instance, put your hand in a fire and burn it and get a real scorching good burn on it, and then try and get someone to argue with you, trying to convince you that the fire isn't hot. Your experience, I tell you, will be enough to pretty much not believe no matter what argument they throw at you. Your experience will tell you better. So your experiences mean, and my experience utterly, categorically destroys any argument people can throw at me. Okay, so you guys are not in the know. If you're a scientist or don't believe in God, you're atheist or you're agnostic, you just don't know. You're just ignorant. That's it. You do not know. And if you try and argue, you're just ignorant. You do not know. And yeah, the harder you fight, it doesn't change that situation for you. I'm sorry. In fact, the arrogance of atheism is quite amazing. Saying, atheist, there is no God. So you're trying to say that you have all knowledge of this universe, that there isn't a God. So you have to have all knowledge. They might not be sitting somewhere on a planet somewhere, or somewhere in another area. You've got all knowledge. You've got the knowledge saying there is no God. You're atheist. Okay, so it sounds like a bit of arrogance to me. Because it sounds like you think you're God, that you don't know. You know everything, that doesn't exist. What if He's next door? You don't know that. Okay, so for me, atheism can't exist because it's absolutely impossible. And since atheism doesn't exist, I don't believe in it. because God doesn't believe in atheists, so they don't exist. Agnostic. Now, I can say God doesn't believe in atheists, and they don't exist, and that will be true, because He has got all knowledge. He does all know. In your situation, you don't, so you can't exist. You're agnostic. You're ignorant. So, I'm coming from a point where I'm not ignorant. I know there's a God. Now, you could argue about which God. Okay, now that's an interesting one. Let's get on to religions. Oh, yeah. Lots of religions in the world at the moment. Heaps of them. In fact, I think there's going to be a massive one which is completely a deception, because the world, I think, is going to get to a point where they realize that evolution hasn't got the answers for them, and they're going to embrace the spiritual understanding. And I think that's already happening. But what is going to be the deception of it is they're going to be worshipping the creation itself, the universe itself, as God, and that they are part of it. And so it's going to be this Buddhist New Age quite crap. Okay. Now, God created the universe, created the heavens and the earth, and He says He's going to destroy the heavens, going to roll up like a scroll. He's going to create a new heavens and new earth. Now, that's what the Bible says. Now, I have no reason to doubt that. Okay? I have no reason to doubt that. So, your God, if you're going to believe in this, the universe being God and all this, it's going to die. It's going to roll up and burn with the fire and heat. Not very powerful. Okay? Not very godly. Godlike. No, the Creator is distinct from His creation. His fingerprints all over it, and you can see from the beauty of creation, you can see how beautiful the Creator must be. If you think of a painting being painted, the painting isn't the Creator. It's a product of Him. And so the biggest problem is, it says in the New Testament, talks about that people give away, they don't want to believe in God, so they give themselves over to all these false things, and they worship the creation instead of the Creator. Okay, this is what happens. Whether it's a religion like atheism, where they think they are God, or whether it's this deception, New Age, false religion that's coming across people, because I'm having conversations more and more with people when it comes to evolution, creation, all that. More and more people are saying, yeah, I believe in a force that is... So they haven't got a relationship with God at all. They haven't got a really a knowledge of the truth. They haven't got an understanding of the Bible. They're just believing in spiritual things now. And so they're starting to get sucked into this whole great deception that I think is going to sweep the world. And this great deception, you know, we're all one with the creation and all this. We're all part of the creation, for sure. But we're made, people, men, women, humans are made in the image of God. We are a special part of creation. We're made in His image. And that is what the devil has been ultimately trying to distort from day dot. Get us worshipping all this false stuff, get us doing all wicked, amazing, evil stuff, trying to pollute the image of God in us, away from who we're called and meant to be, relationship as sons and daughters of God. So yeah. So I feel sorry for the evolutionists, especially the sincere ones who have been somehow caught up in this, thinking science has the answer, science is right, they can't all be wrong, science proves this, science proves that. I can tell you they are wrong. They're categorically wrong. And I don't think, anyway, from doing a bit of study, it didn't take me very long, looking at these creationist arguments and all this, looking at this stuff, it didn't take me very long to realise, no, the science doesn't actually necessarily back their viewpoint anyway. There's really good arguments against, and I hope the creationist movement grows in force. I hope it gets back into, universities teaching it. I hope high schools have to teach it. I hope primary schools have to. I hope it takes over the education system, because I believe it's the only real truth. I think it's the only thing that can matter. The evolutionist argument is just full of holes, and whether the scientists are willingly going along with it, knowing it's not correct, or just blindly following it, whichever way, whether in ignorance or just, a lot of people just believe the scientists, so they're believing evolution just because scientists believe. Scientists are only just people, okay? So yeah, either way. But I can tell you, if you're an evolutionist, and you're trying to prove you don't believe in God, well, you haven't got a leg to stand on when it comes to morality or anything like that, have you? Your morality is based on what? Random chance? Whose opinion? My opinion? Their opinion? Whose opinion? Random chances? Opinion? You've got nothing. You've got no supreme authority for morality, for logic even. What logic? What logic? What's it based on? Where's its base? There is none. Because base for logic, it's all random. Everything's being generated. Everything is just, So your whole existence is not solid. It's intangible. Okay. I've got some really solid reasons for what I believe in: morality, logic, reasoning. Very, very solid reasons. But you don't at all. No matter how you try to argue it, you don't have anything solid. And again, I warn you, you're wrong. I can tell you straight up, you are wrong, categorically. Okay, so science aside, don't have to be a scientist to find the truth. You can pray. You can have an earnest prayer, and bang, that can change every perspective in your life. I know that when I had an answer to prayer, it rocked me so chronically the first time my prayer was so dramatically answered. I was shaken to the core, and I didn't know what to do. I sat in my car looking up at the sky, looking up at the moon actually, just going, okay, so what do I do now? Okay, this leaves me in an interesting position. There was a lot of lifestyle changes that needed to occur at that point. I wasn't married. I was living with a girl. I was a lot of behaviour, a lot of lifestyle changes I had to really start evaluating. Did it? Started adjusting it. Not perfect, but no, headed in the right direction. Start heading in the right direction, following him. Now the thing is, I can say, hey, I'm glad I did, because far out, that one answered prayer, didn't seem like a momentous event, but shoot, then prayers just started happening, roller coaster ride of answered prayers, and then prayers got bigger and bigger and more amazing, and then the supernatural hit. Bang. And I started realizing, wow, my faith really skyrocketed at that point. A lot of Christians haven't had any supernatural stuff, and a lot of them would argue against it anyway. We've got all these denominations and churches and all people saying, oh, it's evil, it's evil. Well, let's just say I believe the Bible, okay? Solid, believe the Bible. And unfortunately, I've had lots of spiritual experiences, so you don't have to like me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to like me if you're a Christian, brother. Who cares? I don't care. I'm not trying to judge you, okay? But if you're not a Christian, not in a relationship with God, and you don't believe the Bible, then you really need to listen to me. You need to realize I have actual understanding of the spiritual realm, have had experiences in the spiritual realm, have encounters with spiritual things and categorically know my stuff. The natural sciences have nothing on me, have no argument to refute me. The only thing they can do is try to ridicule me with, you're mental, you're insane, there's some disorder, have you got a family history? They can, that's the only thing they've got going for them. Because why? Because I'm attacking their worldview. I'm saying God is real, He's the real deal. Your naturalistic answers are not going to cut it. I've got the real thing. I've got the real thing. You haven't. So yeah, well, you're going to have to try something, aren't you? You're going to have to try psychology, you're going to have to try everything. Mental, delusional, who knows? Okay, and I'm not. There's no mental illness, there's no drugs. This is the real thing. Now, am I alone? Well, thank God there's 500,000 Christians, 500 million Christians, who have the same. And there are millions of Christians who have the same relationship with God. There's guys who are like John MacArthur, very conservative on one side, who, anything Holy Spirit, anything to do with spiritual, oh, back off, it's not good, And then you got the other side, you got the guys like John Arnott, who are incredible spiritual staff, and they're all, pretty much opposed to each other. But, hey, I bet you they're all going to heaven. I bet you. Your bottom dollar, they're going to heaven, both of them. And then they're not going to be arguing up there about it. They'll be going, oh, how foolish were we? How foolish were we down on earth? Oh, why were we arguing? Why were we fighting each other? Oh, what about Catholics? Catholics, where do we start? No, Christian church, Protestant church broke away from the Catholic Church because of conceived errors. Now the thing is, like Calvin was a cessationist, so I have issues with even Calvin. Okay, the guy broke away because of the errors. I have issues with his errors. Now, it's like, do I break away from Calvin? Do I break away? Look, Catholicism has definitely done some dodgy stuff. The Pope, I think he's actually got a lot of issues. To be honest, I think he's actually, I always think homosexuality issues always comes, I don't know, I'm not saying he's gay or anything, but, I can't help but think those things. There's lots of issues, it seems. Now, this guy might be a good guy, might be a bad guy. He could be corrupted. He's getting influenced by evolution and believing in all this religious, this religion of evolution. So it's really it bothers me. His progression is. I'm hoping he's not going into apostasy. I'm hoping the Catholic Church doesn't go downhill and become like the harlot in the Book of Revelation. We all hope that. All the Protestants hope that. We hope the Protestant Church doesn't become the great harlot. We're all going, here's a great harlot. Who is it? Is it? We're all looking at Islam, we're all looking at this, that, we're all looking. Sure, for sure. All pointing the finger. Now the thing is, I think Catholic Church, they've done really stupid teachings. They've done really dumb things. But at the same time, if they believe in Jesus Christ, they have a relationship with Him, then I'll see them in heaven for sure. If I make it, I guarantee they'll make it. Okay, we're gonna get there. But if they don't have a relationship with God, it's all just a religious activity. They just turn up on Sunday, but they don't have any interaction or relationship with Him. Really, it's just I call it religion, but no relationship. Then, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to risk that type of, that sort of thing. Right, and I can't vouch for them in that case. I would be quite scared for them. Well, what about Muslims? What about Buddhists? What about Hindus? Lots of religions in the world. Well, to be honest, any any religion that's been formed, I believe, has been formed from Satan. That isn't true. It's lying demon spirits that have gone out. So the Mormons, I think they definitely have had a demonic start to their religion. Their religions, I think, is demonically inspired. I don't believe it's God at all. Okay. Islam, very anti-Christ religion. The Bible talks about an anti-Christ spirit. That is a very anti-Jesus religion, anti-Christ, anti the Holy Spirit, anti-God, anti the Trinity, anti everything. So, you know, where does it stand? No, of course they're not going to be saved. It's a sad state. Has God got plans for them? Don't know. I hope so. You know, they are related back in the day with Abraham's brother, Haggai, breaking off, and you know, so there is, you know, he did make them into 12 tribes, like he made 12 tribes from the other sons. So you just go, well, you know, maybe the Arabs have God maybe has, well, we know he's a loving God, so hopefully he has some redemption for them, and I do hope that these Muslims come to the truth. Okay, but I think they're in error. I think they're following a false religion, sure. Buddhism, yeah, I think Buddha was completely off. I don't think he was right at all. I think he was listening to spirits that weren't of God, and his whole religion is false, and it's really, really corrupt. I think people who follow Buddhism, totally in deception. No, don't think they've got a chance. I don't think heaven is even available to them. Heaven is available by accepting that Jesus died for your sins, took your place, your sin, atonement, so you could actually come into a relationship, be restored from the fall of mankind, which Adam had done by sin. Okay, the relationship has to be restored. So what Adam did, Jesus has fixed. Buddha can't fix it, Muhammad can't fix it, any other spiritual leader can't fix it. It has to be restored by that what Adam had done at the fall, the knowledge of good and evil, the tree, had to be undone at a tree. Jesus dies on a tree, the exact symbol of the knowledge of good and evil, law. He dies on that. He undoes and does the reverse. Instead of reaching for something for the tree, you know, to be like God, reaching for it, believing the lie of the devil, rebelling against God, not trusting him, Jesus lays down his life and dies on the tree and gives up his life. He doesn't reach for it, doesn't try to be like God. He lays down his life. So there's the reverse of the fall. No one else can do it for you. Your sins are all hinging on this fact. For when one man sinned, death came into the world, and through one man's act of righteousness, life came into the world. That is what has happened. So Jesus is the answer for us. He is the only one. When we say he's the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but by him. We're saying no way. There is only one way. Okay. Now the Bible's testimony to that. Throughout the Bible, it has prophecy after prophecy, little elegy after elegy, like stories, hidden prophecies, all this cool stuff. You look at the furniture of the like Moses gets the law and he has to arrange all the furniture of the tabernacle in a certain placements and all that, and it looks like a cross, you know, lined up like a cross. Why is it lined up like a cross? You know, and why are the doorways labelled the way, the truth, and the life? You know, why is Jesus, you know, the only way, the truth, and the life, the only way to get to the Father through the cross? You know, it's all there, and always there. You know, when the children of Israel in the garden were in Egypt in bondage, and Pharaoh's, you know, being real stubborn, and God judges all the gods of Egypt with plagues, basically saying, no, I'm the real God, your God's false. Here, I'm going to turn your Nile God to blood, your Ra God, your sun God, I'm going to blacken, and basically destroys all the gods of Egypt. saying, no, these aren't real gods. I'm the real deal. But the last one of the last one, where he because they considered Pharaoh his descendants God, him and his descendants. So what does he do? He kills his descendant. You're not God. Bang. Take that. Take you out. So that last one, and all the Israelites are eating the Passover lamb. They have sprinkled the blood with the hyssop onto the doorposts on the outside. What have we got? We've got the doorpost being sprinkled by blood, atonement by blood, just like the cross. The posts and the cross piece. The lintel's called the cross piece. The blood is spilt on what? The cross piece. Again, analogies of what Christ was going to do. His blood would be spilled on the cross piece to save us from the destroying angel. Judgment. Okay? So throughout the Bible you see all these illustrations, prophecies, things like that. We have stories of like Joseph being sold into slavery, but then becoming the king over the ruler and command over all the land, and revealing himself. That's an analogy of Jesus, being sold and and then becoming the ruler of everything and revealing himself to Israel. Okay, so we have all these stories. There's prophecies about how much gold he would be, silver, Jesus would be, trade for. The silver pieces in the Old Testament prophets. You've got his hands and his feet will be pierced. You've got the suffering servant of Isaiah 53. You've got all these prophecies, and that just accumulates, numbers up, adds up. It's incredibleness of how superior and supreme the Christian religion is. Now, do these other religions have all these prophecies like this? Do they have like hundreds of them that predict accurately the future? Right. What stands alone with the Christian faith? Hundreds of prophets writing in the Old Testament about a coming Messiah. He happens to fulfill them all. He comes and he not only lives comes out of Egypt, lives in Bethlehem, fulfilling prophecy after prophecy. Where was he born? His name, his genealogy. At the time in history they still appear. These are detailed prophecies, and how many are there? I found, as I was saying on an earlier video, I found 500 in just the first 5 books, and there are literally hundreds throughout the Old Testament. So mathematical odds? No, not mathematically feasible. Some prophecies have been calculated by mathematicians. Just some prophecies. There's one prophecy that has 6 different types or 6 or 7 different types of things in it of detail, and they were trying to calculate just that one prophecy coming to happen by chance, and it was amazing ones. But when you've done a bit of research like me, and you found like hundreds, like 500 in just the first 5 books, and there's at least a couple hundred in the other books, then you're like going, well, if one has this many statistical parts to it, what happens if we throw like 500 or 700 at it statistically that predicts the coming of this person? Good luck. Good luck to try and work out that was just all a coincidence. Look, Nostradamus says nothing on the Bible. Not even nothing. Okay? We're talking hundreds of prophecies about a coming person. Perfect fulfillment. Okay? Now, not feasible that that's going to happen. Just having one prophecy. Think about it. Say the Bible has one prophecy saying, I'm going to come down and I'm going to die for the sins of the people of the world. And say, be your savior. Okay? One prophecy. Now that's a pretty amazing. If that happens, you go, wow, look at that prophecy. It's right. You buzz. What happens when you've got hundreds? Why aren't you buzzing? Not just one cool one. Now, that one I just said about, I'm going to come down and do it. There is a prophecy nearly word for word like that. And where is it? Genesis 5. Look at all the names of all the genealogies in Genesis 5. And each name means a word. When you string all those words together from the meanings of the names, it says the prophecy that I will come down and I will die for the sins of the world. One prophecy, Genesis 5. There's hundreds, okay? So an atheist has to be amazingly close-minded, amazingly ignorant, I think, and just doesn't want to know. Orange carrots. The Dutch did something right. Well, for Christians, I hope that strengthens your faith. And for those who don't know God, well, do something about it. Do something about it. Look, I challenge you. If you're sincere and you really want to know, do something about it. Pray. Do some prayer. Ask Him. Okay. Now, I can't answer for Him. I can't say what He will do or what He won't do. But He resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. So a humble man will find grace and will find grace from Him. Proud man, nah. He's going to resist you. He's not even going to help you at all. Okay, so it's your issue there. You have to come to Him on your knees. You have to come to Him in the contrite state, in a heart that really, really wants to know Him and find out the truth. Any pride, nah, you're not going to probably get anywhere, okay? Who knows? Maybe not. But no, He says He resists the proud. So, I wouldn't go and I wouldn't take that path if I was a sincere believer wanting to find and have a relationship with the Creator. Now, how close can you have? How close can these relationship get with the Creator? I don't actually think there is a limitation. There's some examples in the Bible of believers who have walked with God and have relationships with Him. And it said, like Enoch, for instance, he got so close to this relationship, so close with God. God said, well, hey, I'm just going to take you to heaven. Come up. Boom. More than likely that's another prophecy of what the Lord's going to do before He returns. That translation that happened with Enoch where he got taken up is going to happen again to the believers. Because it says, when He comes back, it's going to be a sound like an archangel blowing a trumpet. It's going to sound like massive noise, and we're going to hear the words. I've heard these words already. I've had an angel actually scream them at me and stuff, and I've had these taken up. So I know this is going to happen. You can hear the big trumpet. I don't know about trumpet. I haven't heard the trumpet, but anyway, you're going to hear these words come up here, and all these believers are going to go. They're going to do an Enoch takeoff. Why? Because, hey, been there. Done that. That spiritual experience isn't a new one for me. Okay? Sorry, John MacArthur. But you're missing out. So there are a lot of stuff, and that's going to happen. And we're going to get taken up, and we're going to see the most incredible, unimaginable sight of Jesus returning with His angels and host coming to this planet. We're going to see it as we're taken up and we're flying out towards Him in our little groups of about 6 with an angel accompanying us. How do I know? How do I know? How do I know indeed? How do I know exactly what's going to happen? Well, it's for me to know and you to find out. So anyway, your mind is going to go, that's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And this is after you've looked at the angel while you're flying. Okay, there's already a little trippy. You're already looking at an angelic being for the first time, most likely, thinking, wow, this is freaky. You're flying. That's freaky. And then you're going to say, when you see that, your mind is going to say, when you see that, it's going to be overwhelmed, and you're going to say, that is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Because it's going to totally blow anything else that you've ever seen in your life away. In that one split second of an atom, you're going to think that. Good times. I don't know what's going to happen with all the evolutionists, though. Alright. Yeah. Never thought to look back. See what's happening with everyone else. All I know is there's going to be clumps of people. About 6 people to every angel. And they'll be flying, like being guided or escorted, I guess you could say, in groups, flying around. Interesting stuff. Man, is that whacked? Well, it's got it in the Bible. Enoch walked with God. Was not, because God took him. What happened to him? He got translated. We read about it later on. He got translated. He got taken up. Now that's going to happen. Okay, and the Book of Revelation tells us. In fact, I think John. I'm fairly confident. John the Apostle on the island of Patmos, when he heard the words "come up here," now I'm fairly assured, got this under pretty good authority. He got taken up and literally saw the events unfolding in real time. Not seeing something in the future, but seeing it as it happened live. Yeah, because he had the words "come up here," then whoop, zoop, he's off. Okay, so that's what we've got to expect for Christians. I don't know what the non-Christians are going to hear. Don't know if they're going to even know we're gone. It's all very interesting. Lots of stuff to happen, but I don't think we're going to care at that point. To be honest, that's the last thing I think that's going to be going for our minds. Those carrots are good. Alright.